technology is taking a hit in everything that is happening globally, right? But one thing I want to say is that regardless of whatever is happening right now, the market is going to reset and digital skills are still valuable. So if you were thinking about getting into tech or getting into DevOps or AR, VR or cloud or anything else that you are interested in, make sure that you keep learning, make sure that you have a backup plan, and make sure that as you learn, you are trying to be great at what you are learning. And I never subscribe to like mediocre things and noise. I like it when you learn, you do the work, and that work speaks for you anyway.
Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Engatica's interview series. I'm your host Anshdeep Kaur and we're really thrilled to have you join us today. Today we have Adora Nwodo, software engineer, multi-published author and global speaker on the show. Welcome, Adora.
Thank you.
So the Engatica interview series is a powerhouse of insights from industry experts and influencers from around the world. A platform that provides latest news on AI, automation, and technologies that will help you grow your business. Come be a part of our community, learn, share, and grow with us. So, Adora, I have a couple of questions for you. Could you please throw some light on your book of cloud engineering?
Okay, yes. So it's funny how I wrote the book over a year ago, and it's really nice that I still, get to talk about it at the slightest chance. And like the name implies, it's a cloud engineering book. It's not a particular book for a particular technology. I'm writing a follow-up, which is currently a book on Azure. So that's like a particular book for Azure, and that makes sense. But the goal of that book was to introduce a lot of people to the concept of what the cloud is and the possibilities for like cloud career paths, how you can start a career in cloud engineering, how you can transition into cloud engineering, how you can grow in that field if that's something that you are interested in. So the goal was just it's like a fundamental book, right, that teaches about the concepts of the cloud. And then anyone that reads that book and decides to, get a cloud engineering career can now go further and get, specific courses for the kinds of technologies that they want to major in.
Yeah. So what is the mixed reality and how you're building it at Microsoft?
I would only answer the first question.
Sure.
Can we take it again? Because I don't like to I'm not supposed to be
work. That's fair. That's right. So, could you talk something about mixed reality?
Okay. So when I think about mixed reality, there's a very amazing definition that comes to mind that I stumbled upon like 3 years ago. So I think about mixed reality, the entire mixed reality ecosystem as a spectrum where it's like one line, and then on one end you have your physical world, and on the other end you have your digital world. And your physical world, has all these amazing things in it. And this is the world that we experience in our lives day to day. I mean, it's the physical world that has this picture in the back, this frame here, this chair over there, and all of that, right? In the digital world, it's 100% graphic, 100% computer generated. So when you're thinking about, something like virtual reality, where when you put on a headset, you don't know what's happening in your physical space at all in any way, shape, or form. Now, mixed reality is the ability to blend these two worlds seamlessly together. So imagine being able to experience your physical world with a lot of computer generated graphics and 3D models and things around you that you can not just look at, but also interact with. So let's look at holograms. And we see this in a lot of sci-fi movies that even exist today, right? Where there is like a teleprojection of like a 3D model, a hologram of someone, and the person is in a different place, but you can talk to them in a different place that you are. And that's basically what mixed reality is, the ability to blend these two worlds together for you to experience them, not just to see digital assets, but also to interact with them. And we have, and every day technology is evolving. So you see things like holograms and 3D models that are beginning to look more quality and with better definition, and people are integrating things like spatial audio, meaning that if I get close to a hologram that is talking, it should sound like the hologram is right in front of me, and if I move very far away from that hologram, it should sound like the hologram is meters away from me. So every day the technology gets better with time, but that's literally just the basic experience of what it's supposed to be.
So, where is exactly DevOps headed, and what are the advancements that are happening in that area?
I think one of the things I think is that the global pandemic 2020 changed a lot of things in how we see work culture, or even technology, and gave birth to like a bunch of innovations, or even made us take some things that we were not taking seriously more seriously. And one of those things is, we realized that it was possible to do a lot of things as distributed teams. So now we're seeing people take on more remote friendly roles, and this is definitely going to affect the culture and the dynamics of software engineering teams to begin with. And in the concept of DevOps, because when you think about DevOps, you're thinking about automating processes. The promise for DevOps, the main question that DevOps answers is, how do we build, test, ship, and manage resilient software at scale? So when you're doing this in the context of a distributed team where everyone is no longer in the same place, your approach tends to change a little bit. You have to think of better ways to foolproof things. One of the most obvious ones is DevSecOps. Security has been a thing for a long time, but everyone being remote made a lot of people realize that their security was not as great as they thought it was. They were just really lucky to be within, company intranet where things could most likely not go wrong. So now there are ways that people are thinking about creating agile security, making security part of the application release process, because that's something that's very important. Another thing that is, gaining traction and might become mainstream going forward is AI ops, ML ops, all those other things, right? Integrating AI into the DevOps process. And this is interesting because at the end of the day, the key promise for DevOps is automation of everything, automation of processes that help your software engineering, or rather, automation of processes in the software engineering management lifecycle, if that makes sense. And integrating AI and machine learning is mainly going to double that automation, if that makes sense. Make us automate things that we probably were doing manual before, although we automated some things that we could automate. But now it's like we can do more because we're integrating AI and machine learning and all of that. The one that goes without saying, Kubernetes and microservices, we're seeing many people gravitate more towards microservice architectures for building their scalable applications. At the end of the day, people are still going to build apps the way they've been building it, but some people will decide to adopt this microservice architecture, and that would have an effect on how they do DevOps within the organization as well. So I think those are like the major things that come to mind. The last thing I want to say is the culture shift that is happening in many companies, but that's not necessarily a DevOps conversation, but an organization-wide conversation. And like I said, all of these things, most of these realizations came as a result of the global pandemic and how it affected the way we build software, the way we think about our customers, the way we even do business and things like that.
Yeah, so a lot of that changed over the global pandemic, right? So how is Africa as a region adopting to technologies like AR and VR?
The adoption is not where I would like it to be. It's slow, but it's happening, and I'm excited about that. there was a recently concluded hackathon for AR VR just this week, and it was nice to see many people coming together to build things for, AR VR in the context of education and entertainment and all these other different sectors as well. Right now, there are organizations coming up, there are communities that we're building. Like I said, the growth is slow, and this, for the most part, is due to some restrictions that exist here, as well as, some infrastructural challenges and things like that. But with time, I believe that things will get better than they are. I mean, I'm seeing people buying more headsets. I'm seeing people being more inclined to playing VR games. So one thing I know for sure is that we have a lot of VR enthusiasts in this region, which I like a lot, which I think is really great. AR and VR enthusiasts, people that care about the space, people that care about what the metaverse is going to become and all of that. We see that every day in this region. But what I would like to see more is AR VR engineers, AR VR developers, people that actually also want to build this thing. And I think that with the curiosity that the enthusiasts have, some of these enthusiasts might become engineers at some point. So at least I'm excited about the awareness that is happening and the adoption, even if it's quite slow. But I know that with time, it would also trickle down to wanting to build. And some people are already building amazing things, to be fair.
Oh, that's amazing. So, are there any other sound bites you'd like to share with our audience?
I would say that, right now, technology is taking a hit in everything that is happening globally, right? But one thing I want to say is that regardless of whatever is happening right now, the market is going to reset and digital skills are still valuable. So if you were thinking about getting into tech or getting into DevOps or AR, VR or cloud or anything else that you are interested in, make sure that you keep learning, make sure that you have a backup plan, and make sure that as you learn, you are trying to be great at what you are learning. And I never subscribe to like mediocre things and noise. I like it when you learn, you do the work, and that work speaks for you anywhere you go. And that's what I advise people to constantly do. And when the entire dust settles, I think that we would go back to we may not go back to what the tech ecosystem used to be. It would evolve into something else, and it might evolve into something better, who knows? But I actually have hope, and I want everyone else to have hope as well. And they shouldn't stop learning because of what's currently going on with the entire ecosystem and the global market.
Wow, that's some great advice. So thank you so much for sharing your valuable insights with us. For more content, subscribe to the Engati channel and tap the bell icon to access to exclusive content from thought leaders from around the globe. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you with the new experts soon.
Thank you.